Good afternoon, guys. I am just a smidge early because I saw you guys were in here already. I decided to come in and say hi. Back to the official stuff that I need to do before I start the reveal. This is roll reveal number 291. It features a 1954D Fed Reserve Bank of Chicago original roll. We're going to open this roll, take a look through it. We're going to see what we have in here. If we have any die varieties in here, they already belong to the people whose names are on the back side of these flip inserts. Coin number 1 will go to Thomas. Just like that. So what I do is I open up these rolls just like this. Unpack them with this little tool right here. And this little tool keeps me from ripping up the paper. No need to rip the paper if I can get it open without. And here we go. 1954D roll. First time opened in over 60 years. Was it 67 years? 66, 67 years, something like that. All right, coin number 1, Thomas. Let me go ahead and flip on my microscope. Okay. Get my cup out of the way. Brought some water up here. Water. And there we go. And I need to throw that first coin on there and see what we've got. It's got a little bit of toning on it. I like the toning. And it has an RPM. Just to get started, we have an RPM. How about that for special? Let me grab my gain and move my gain up. Move my exposure time up a little bit so that we can see what we're doing. Good afternoon, Mr. McBride and Eric. We have a nice little RPM here from right on the end of the roll. Not sure which one it is, but it's cute nonetheless. We've got a nice split lower serif, nice split upper serif, and even in a relatively heavily toned coin, it's still really nice looking. So that one's going to Thomas from right on the end of the roll. Let's take a look at the rest of the obverse and see if there's anything else on the obverse that we need to be talking about. Doesn't appear so. We do have a couple of little markers, though. There's a die crack on the R of Liberty, die crack on the E of Liberty, and a small die crack on the B of Liberty. Not much else for obverse die markers that I can see on this coin. This coin may be hiding some markers because it's toned. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse. This will be the condition of the remainder of the roll because this part was, well, it was hidden from the air and everything else. Turn the gain back down so we can see what we're doing here. And refocus. Get that light set back up exactly where I liked it because that was nice. All right, there we go. Nice, good little bit of focus. All right, we've got a die scratch east of the E of 1. And don't see much else for markers on the reverse here so far. There's a real small die scratch, east-west die scratch inside the A of America, the last A of America, along with a number of others. There's a small die crack coming in from the rim on the right side. Very small, though. I don't see much else on here. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe this would be recognizable by the appearance of the mint mark itself. Yeah, let's try to find one. I know that this die is a nice one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in holder for Thomas, and move on to coin number 2, and perhaps we'll find this die again and can attribute it based on a non-toned coin. This is coin number 2 in the roll. Coin number 2 is appears to be normal. Little die crack on the head. Ooh, is that an eyelid? Do we have a double eyelid? I think that would be a first. I think. Let's see. Sorry about this, all this moving around. My hand isn't on the coin properly. There we go. No, we'll have to look at this one later. This one could be a doubled eyelid. So I'll pull all such coins out and stack them together. So we've got a really nice set of die cracks on the head. Don't know exactly what we're looking at with regard to the eye area. We'll take a better look at it later, that's for sure. Let's keep going. Let's keep looking, keep seeing. What do we find here? Well, got nothing else on the obverse. Got a huge die crack running through the shoulder. That's a giant die crack running through the shoulder. So we're going to stack this one off to the side as a possible doubled eyelid. Let's look at the reverse real quick and see what we have on the reverse, if anything. This is our last and final reveal for this week. We do have the box pull for proof coins coming up this evening, the proof box pull. I invite all of you to join in the fun and watch, especially those who have spots in that box. Alright, so I've got what could be a doubled eyelid, and we have a nice RPM that made up the first 2 coins in the roll. Here's coin number 3 for Bill, Mr. Crescent. And coin number 3 turns out to be nothing in the date and mint mark area. Have a small die chip inside the 4 of the date. Another little bit of die cracking going on the head. Nothing else of real notice on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse on this one real quick. 1954S is, or 1954D, I'm sorry, is not an issue that is well known to have double die reverses. So this is one that we will look at the reverse on the first 10 coins, and then after that I will not show any more reverse on the show. We will be looking at the reverses of every coin after we go back through them. And I will learn how to speak English. Yes, that'll be a feature. Coin number 4, Coin Hunter. There's Coin Hunters first. What do we got? Well, it looks like a normal coin. And appears that it probably is. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. We've got no doubling on the reverse. Nothing really on the obverse. So we move on to coin number 5. Coin number 5 will go to Marshall. So Mr. Marshall gets. Well, that looks like it could be an RPM. Something sticking up out of the north of that D mint mark. It could be a die scratch, but it appears to be another part of an RPM. The problem with this coin is that it has a hit on the mint mark, which makes detection kind of difficult. But I do believe that lower serif is thick enough to be doubled. It appears as though it's probably doubled. Let's get all the way in on this. I'm going to have to change my lighting and my focus. Hang on just a moment while I do that. Well, there is a split in the serif. There's a split in the lower serif and the upper serif on this one. And that thing on the top looks like it could be part of another D sticking out right up here. I'm not sure whether that is or not, so we're just going to kind of put it in the roll, and, well, Eric will figure it out when he gets these. But this is definitely an RPM, so I'm going to set it aside. It's not going to go back in the roll. It's going to go aside because it is an RPM. That much I know, and I should have readjusted my camera before I took that coin away, but we'll readjust it when I lay this coin for Jim Fletcher down on the scope. Something's just not adjusted right with my lighting at this point. I'm just not quite happy with it. There, I think I'm a little happier with that. Okay, this one is not an RPM. There's no doubling in or around the date. Nothing on the I. Nothing up top, nothing in Liberty. I see Yo Man is back. Welcome back, Yo Man. Malcolm, if your chat keeps sticking, best I can tell you is to refresh. Basically reload YouTube and see if it helps. That's coin number 6, going to be a normal coin. Let's go on to coin number 7. See what happened to coin number 7 for Deanne. Appears to be another normal one. Take a look at the reverse side here. Make sure you join me on Tuesday evening. We will be having an unusual scheduled auction. Unusual because it will be the first Tuesday of the month, and I generally don't do auctions on the first Tuesday of the month. But we will be doing an auction this coming Tuesday. I will be offering 8 more reveals. And here's one for Stonecutter. Oops. Put this one face up. How about that? Let's see. Not a repunch mint mark. Gosh, I keep hitting that. I don't mean to hit that. All it does is shake the lighting. And I don't like shaking the lighting because that's just not good. Kind of give you seizures. There we go. On to the revice. And I see nothing there. I was reading the chat while I was doing this. That's why I was a little bit flaky. Let's see. Coin number 9 now. Coin number 9 goes to Carl Ignatz. Very beautiful, bright coin. Just love this. Really bright luster. Really beautiful. Stick it under the scope and see what we have. We do have another minor RPM. This one could be the same as the last one that I looked at, although I didn't get markers off the last one. I think this could be the same die. We look for markers this time around. Got north and south die scratches running through the 1/9 of the date. Big die crack up above. Not much else going on there. Let's see the reverse on this one. Not seeing anything there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next coin. I'm going to go to coin number 10. And coin number 10 is going to go to Sureg. So you're only watching because you got a broken back. You're not watching because you like me or anything, or you like the show. You're just watching because you're bored. Okay. Just so I know. I won't get excited or get my hopes up or anything. We had the coin on the very end, was a really nice RPM, and I haven't run into another one of those yet in this roll. Let's keep looking. Now see, Time Traveler knows how to butter me up. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to get, but he knows how to butter me up. There's another one of those little RPMs, if I could ever quit doing that. Upper and lower, got your north and south die scratches coming out of the 1/9 of the date. Clash in the throat, die cracks on the head. Same die. Again. So we know that we've got a good double die, or not, I'm sorry, a good RPM that is repeated. Let's take a look at the next coin. Coin number 12. Yo, man. Still looking for another example of that one that was on the end. I don't see anything there except a really close punch to the 9. Means this is a new one we haven't seen yet. And that would be unprecedented if this happens to be right. It looks like it could be a double die obverse showing up in Liberty. First RPM might have been number 25. Okay. We'll get back into it as soon as I find another one. But this is interesting. I'm going to hold this out because it is interesting. I'm not sure that's a double die, but it looks like it could be. It's like the 1957 obverse style DDO. It could be a double die, but I'm not sure. And get Eric to kind of pick it apart with the microscope and see what he thinks. Because I can see it on the I can see it right here on the R. I can see it in here on the R. I can see it right here on the R. Up here on the T. And then over here on the T. And then all the way up on the Y. It looks like it could be. Could be a double diobverse. Now this little thing is normal. This little thing you see frequently. Is that a little hook coming off the top of the D mint mark? Something I didn't notice before. Let's get it in the right light to see if it is a reflection or a hook. It is indeed a reflection. So we'll call this a possible double diobverse. Let me back out so we're not looking at every molecule. There we go. Turn my lighting down some. Make it a little more comfortable view. Get the lampshade out of the way. There we go. Much better, Chuck. Thank you. All right, let's see what else we have here. Actually, it's a little too low. There we go. Back up a little bit. Focus a little bit. Turn my lighting back up a little bit. There we go. Much better. It's part of a triple die clash. You see that? 3 die clashes right there in the C. Bam, bam, bam. Let's see if we can see another part of that triple die clash. It's inside the E right there. Headed down to the N, you get a little bit of a triple die clash. That's what that is. This over here is the coat, the collar of the back of the coat. Then here's the nape of the neck, and then the back of the hair right there. If you were going to see Liberty, Liberty would be right over here. But we don't see it. And then this over here is part of the front of the bow tie. Front of the bow tie and part of the front of the coat. And then if we see anything up here, see going through C of America, you can see part of the head. It's like part of the forehead. And if you're going to see anything over here, it's going to be running through the O and F of. You can see it just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit right in here. That's the top of the head. That's the hairline on the top of the head. It's pretty cool. But just a bit of a clash. Who else came in here I didn't notice? Blues Coins. What's going on, buddy? John Brandon Bow. Let's see what John Brandon Bow gets. Got another one of those little RPMs, I do believe. Got to get a little closer to be able to see it. Focus in real nice. Okay, we've got north and south die scratches. Let's see if we have die cracks in the hair. Yes, we do. And this is going to be another example of the second die that I've been pulling out of this roll. I'm going to go back to auto exposure for a while and see if that helps us. Okay. That's going to go in the stack with the second RPM, number 28. Okay. On to coin number 14. Michael Birchman. Let's see what we have for Mike Birchman. Well, this one, no RPM, nothing in or around the eye, nothing in trust, nothing on Liberty, Nothing up my sleeve. We have a non-variety coin. Coin number 15 now, Adam Chambers. And Adam Chambers picks up, yeah, it looks like another normal coin. This is a normal one. It's that one that has the chip inside the 4 of the date. You see it in the upper part of the top of the 4 of the date. You can see a die chip in there. The die chip and this real sharp die crack right above the eye tells me that we've already seen this die, and it showed us nothing when we saw it before. A little bit of a spotted coin there. There's Mr. Fletcher. Let's see what Mr. Fletcher gets. Got nothing on the mint mark here. Looking on the 4 for any doubling. You're looking for doubling on the bottom of the 4. Right in this area, you'd see doubling on the 4 if you had that particular double die. Another spotty coin. A little bit spotty. They still look pretty nice when you're not looking at them at 450,000 times, but yep, force of habit. Looking at the reverse on this one, I see nothing. Keep moving on. That's coin number 16. Now for coin number 17. Malcolm. Malcolm, here you go, buddy. What do we get? Got a little hit on the mint mark. And doesn't appear to be anything. No. Now number 18 goes to Lucy. Let's see what Lucy gets. Lucy gets one of the minor RPMs. This is number 28, Eric says. Has the heavy die cracks in the hair. This one's a little spotty. Seems like a lot of these coins seem to be a little spotty, which is, hey, they're not bad when you look at them. They're a little worse when you toss them under a microscope, though. So that's the case with pretty much anything. When you put it under a microscope, you can see every single flaw. Okay, this is not a variety coin. I've seen this die before. Know this die a little. Yeah, all these ones that are not varieties are what make varieties valuable. So think about it this way. If you own varieties in your collection, every non-coin I come across helps the value of your collection. So keep supporting this channel, and I will continue to help the value of your collection. How's that sound? Good commercial, right? Yeah, the tip jar. The tip jar is in the chair next to the door on your way out. Please do not forget to tip your help staff, as your help staff works for way below minimum wage. Almost poverty line type stuff. So don't forget to tip your waiter. Sissy comes up, I think, the first time in this roll. What does Sissy get? Yeah. I'm not loving it. Not showing me much of anything here. That's for sure. Except a spot on the jacket. Yep, nothing on this one. That's coin number 22. How about coin number 23? John Brandon Bow. Let's see what Mr. Bow gets. Yeah, this one's going to be a normal one as well. It's unfortunate. The only coin that we found of that nice RPM was the first coin in the roll. Since then, I've not seen another one. Gonna do barbecue for dinner. Talk the wife into letting me go get some brisket. We've got a really good barbecue shop here in town where you can get some good brisket. Oh, got nothing there. This is that die, I think, that was the possible doubled eyelid. Yeah, this is it. Huge die crack on the shoulder. So this is the one that has the possible doubled eyelid. You can see this little thing right here is what I'm looking at as a possible doubled eyelid on this. Yes, brisket, coin hunter, you are invited. Be here within 45 minutes. What state are you in, coin hunter? So that one's for Paul Hampton. Toss that one into the pile with the doubled eyelid ones. And here we go with coin hunter. I get these back centered into space. There we go. Coin hunter gets the next coin in the roll, which is this right here. Is that another one of the RPMs? That is an RPM, but it's a really, really tough one to spot. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go with this one. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'll let Eric make that decision. This will be coin number 25 for Coin Hunter. I can see when I look at it at this particular angle under this particular lighting, you can see this little part right here that folds under. That's actually a tilted mint mark punched with the normal mint mark, and there is your tilt again. So your tilted mint mark goes underneath. Washington, 2 hours from Canada. Yeah, you're not going to make it here. You couldn't even get in a spacecraft and make it here in that kind of time. Because we're talking 1 hour away from the Atlantic Ocean in North Carolina. Yes, Chad, it is. It's a very common spot for failure. The shoulder, your most common spots for failure on the Lincoln wheat cent. All right, I'll go over them real quickly as we go across this coin. Let's see, what do we have here first, if anything? Let me focus it in. Okay. Ready for my lighting. Most common spots for failure. The front edge of the bow tie. Right here. Very common spot for failure where you're going to see die cracks. Next spot, which is common for failure, is anywhere along the ridge line of the brow, right here, all the way back into the head and above the ear. A lot of cracks in these areas generally. Another area for failure seems to be going through or near the W or the E of we into the top of the head. That's called a spiked head die crack. Next area common for failure. Oops, sorry about that. Get my lighting situated again. There we go. Next area that's common for failure is between the B and the E of Liberty. And then going outward from that to the other in-betweens of the letters. Less common as you go out. So this is the most common area in Liberty to find die cracks. In fact, if you look carefully, there's a very fine die crack starting to form at the corner of the B right here. And then your next most common area, and an area that is very common for die cracks because it parallels the rim and is of high relief, is the ridge line of the bottom of the bust where you see the VDB initials. Those are your most common obverse areas for die cracks. On the reverse, the most common areas for failure on the reverse begin with your wheat stalks. Anywhere inside these wheat grains or inside the hair or the lines of the wheat, I used to call it wheat hairs, but anywhere inside the lines of the wheat or all the way down into the wheat grain on both sides are common areas of failure. And you'll start out with really small die chips that are actually difficult to see. And over a period of strikes or a period of time, it will turn into actual die cracks that could eventually connect to the rim and eventually form a cud. Cud is where the edge of the die breaks off and falls away. Your next most common area is in the lower area of the T of scent. Usually on the right-hand side, up and down through this area, you'll find die cracks and eventually breaks and chips and all kinds of interesting features. And then sometimes, just once in a while, you'll find them anywhere in the larger letters in the center of the design. Not commonly would you find die cracks or die chips in the lower part of the reverse design. So, that is your most common areas of failure. This coin belonged to Bill Crusson and had nothing on it. So we're going to move on to coin number 27 now. Coin number 27 will be, well, it's for Sureg. And I don't see anything here. Could it be? No, it's not. It's just, I just don't see anything there. My my scope camera is playing games with me again. I need to take off the automatic exposure and go back to the exposure I did have. I think it improves my frame rate a little bit. There's a lot of the very common die cracks. The die crack running through the shoulder here, this is the one that's the doubled eyelid. That's what this is. I knew I recognized this. The die crack running through the shoulder like this is uncommon. Finding die cracks in the shoulder is fine, but finding die cracks this heavy in the shoulder is actually uncommon. So there we have an eyelid coin for Sureg. Next coin, number 28, goes to Joe Cathy. And Joe Cathy takes another one of those. And there we go. Another one of the possible doubled eyelids. Now number 29, Malcolm, who happens to be here right now, I do believe. Malcolm will get This one appears to be a normal coin. Don't see anything happening with this one. Now for number 30. How about number 30, Deanne? Perhaps we can have a turkey shot. Two good with a bad one inside, then another good one. This one appears to be a minor upper split serif. Another common die crack running across the head. Sometimes you'll see die cracks up in the upper hair, like more up in this area, but it's not as common. Now, to some people, die cracks have value. To some people, it depends on where the die crack is or what it is as to whether it has value. Like, for instance, a really nice die crack going all the way across the face of a 1993 proof quarter would be a very nice item to have, because die cracks are not very common on proof coins. But the die cracks that I'm showing you here today, they really have no premium value. This is the minor RPM again, number 28, I believe it is. I'm going to have a couple of die cracks running across the head. Bam, bam. It's not the doubled eye. But that's the one that we've been finding. So we did coin number 18 was one of these. Now number 31. So we got 13 coins in between. Joe Cathy again. Oh, looky there. Before I go any further, I know what this is. And if I turn it right, you can see that little thing that I think might be a doubled eyelid. So we're going to hold it out. I'll let Eric make a determination on these as to whether this is a doubled eyelid that's worth listing. Yes, and rarely you do see the head falling off. 1955 seems to be the most common date for stuff like that, where you've got massive cracks in the head. Especially 55 plain. There's just a number of different dies that had that issue for 1955 plain. Almost so much that I'd call it common. Get my light turned up a little bit. There we go. Get my focus straight on. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm a little closer. I know. But I like hunting a little bit better when I can really see everything. I don't have to stick in one place very long because I can see everything I need to see. All right, coin number 34 now. Coin number 34 goes to Coin Hunter. And what does Coin Hunter get? But an RPM. And I believe this is the nice one that we were picking, the very first coin in the roll. I think this is that same die. So they're finally 34 coins in, we found another one. I do believe this is the same die. Die crack coming out of the back, or die scratch coming out of the back of the head. Got north and south die scratches through the last half of Liberty. Don't have much showing in the lower area of the design, but it is a pretty nice D over D tilted. Or is this one? This one could actually be, it is. It's rotated counterclockwise. So, let's check the reverse here real quick. See if there's any huge markers to discuss. There's a die dent inside the O of. A few die scratches here and there. Nothing of serious note. There are a couple of heavier north and south die scratches below the E of cent. You see this right here forming kind of, there's a line going down this way and another one coming across this way. Move this over to this side and it looks almost identical to this. You're looking at what would be the marker for the 1955 double die. That's what they say about the X-shaped die scratch on the reverse. That's what you're looking for. It's a die scratch that comes down and another one that intersects it like this on this side of the T. So this is one of the nice RPMs, same as coin number 1, I do believe. I'm going to put this one with coin number 1. That's coin number 34 for Coin Hunter. Congratulations. Number 35 is for Mac McBride. I gotta zoom this out just a little bit and get my fingers out of the way. Oop. Not those fingers, these fingers. Is this? Yeah, it is one of those. Okay. It's a little light to see, but you can kind of see it in there. Kind of right there. All right. That's Joe McBride. Grabs coin number 35, which is one of our suspected doubled eyelids. Coin number 36 now. Is normal. Coin number 36 goes to Yo Man. Slightly earlier die state than some of the other ones I've seen in the roll, which kind of helped me determine that this is one of the normal dies. This is the one that has the triple die clash on it. If I can turn it just right, you can see it. There it is. Triple die clash. Nothing else of any great importance on that one. Now number 37, Bill Cresson. What did Bill get? RPM. Is this one of the nicer ones? I think it is. I can't really decipher right now. I can tell it's an RPM, I know that, and I think it's one of the better ones. Although it appears to be in slightly later die state than what I remember seeing from the others. But I think it is the same die. So I'm going to pull it. Let's see, for that information, same 1954S has the weak cuds and RPMs. These are in 66, 67 plus. I'd like to show you these. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, a little die chip inside of the wheat is not a cud. Cud only happens on the very edge of the design, and it is where the design has completely chipped away and fallen off of the die so that nothing is struck in that area. Those are kind of scarce. Second thing, if you want to show me anything that you have on any of your coins, you can email me direct at cd@coppercoins.com and I'll take a look for you. There's another one of the nicer RPM. So I'm running into a sudden pile of these, which is a cool thing because this roll has been rather stubborn to produce. And here we have a nice one. So this one goes to Eric. Congrats, Eric. Now coin number 39. Coin number 39 goes back to Mr. McBride. And Mr. McBride gets... Well, this is... another one of the RPMs. This is a nicer RPM. just has a different die crack on the head. So, Eric, I'm kind of getting these dies confused up just a little bit, so you're probably going to have to re-split them for me. Because this is not the same die, but it is a nice doubled mint mark. So I've got 3 piles. I'm just putting them all in 3 piles. Marshall, you've got the minor RPM, the major RPM, or the better RPM, and the possible doubled eyelid. This is none of the above. This one is a normal coin for Mr. Marshall. Now number 41 goes back to Eric again. Ooh, nice RPM. I don't think I've seen this one. This one's got a big die dent. That is a die dent. It's a pot mark put in the die by something that hit the die. And it leaves a mark in the die so that when the die mints the coins, it's actually a hump on the resulting coin. This is a different die than any I've seen so far in this roll. So here we go. The beginning of a new RPM for this roll. I don't have any particularly flamboyant markers except that one die dent above the 5. Let's check the reverse on this one because we haven't looked at the reverse on this die yet. And just as expected, it doesn't provide much of anything to us. But there again, another RPM. I know that one's different, so we're doing a 4th pile now. This one's for Malcolm. Malcolm, you're due. Did you get it? And I'm going to have to say no. Unfortunately not. You did get the doubled eyelid, though. Right there. Possible doubled eyelid anyway. Possible, I say. Possible, I say. Possible. But anyway, we're going to stick it on the pile. That's coin number 42 for Malcolm. Coin number 43 goes to Mike Birchman. And let's see what Mike gets. That's one of the nicer RPMs there. Yeah, there's at least 2 different nicer RPMs. This one definitely matches coin number 1 out of the roll. That's a definite match. I think we have at least 2 different RPMs I've been putting in pile number 1. Another nice RPM here. It looks like we may actually end up with a really good variety average on this roll. Got another one coming up for Eric here. This is Eric's last coin for the roll. Let's see what he gets. And on this one, we unfortunately have nothing. Let's keep looking just in case we might have something else on the obverse. I don't see any markers I remember particularly, so we're going to flip this one over and take a look at the reverse. It appears as though we have another new die here. Nothing there. Now 45. Coin number 45 goes to Mr. Fletcher. And what does Mr. Fletcher get? Coin number 45. Well, looks like it's a normal one. Unfortunately normal. A lot of you might be asking, what is that stuff on the outside of the 4? All this stuff right here. This stuff is called ghost doubling. It's a braided die doubling. It happens as the die continues to mint coins. The molecules of steel on the die flow outward, kind of like rain on your windshield. And what happens, that causes these lines here. These lines on the coin are what causes your luster. So as you tip the coin, the light catches and goes around in a cartwheel. Well, What happens here is the outside edges of the letters tend to like to chip out too. And as they chip out, the outside edge of the letter raises up in kind of a ghost doubling. This is most common on 1955. 1955 is the poor man's double die. That's what they call it anyway. And that is what the 1955 poor man coins are. These also form very commonly on 1954, 1953, 1949, 1946, 1929. Just so you know. We stay informed, so you stay informed too. This is Copper Coins, the Copper Coins channel. I love you guys for letting me be such a fool here. I don't know if you let me, but if you're watching the channel, you're going to hear it anyway, right? May as well get used to it and learn to like it. I know a little bit, not much. Never seen one of these things before, but I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. Carl's got coin number 47. This is part of why I like doing this. I like being able to share what I know and teach, while at the same time, you're getting a service. I'm getting a service out of you. You're getting a service out of me. It's like a symbiotic relationship. I buy all these rolls, and I'm getting my money back on the rolls, plus I'm getting some profit for actually doing the show and working everything up and the supplies that I use for this and everything. But it's also getting me more photographs and listings for the website because I've got more coins to go through. So you guys always help me out with this. This is an amazing little thing that we've got going on. Don't mean to sound catty or anything, but I'm just really glad I came up with this idea, because this is something I don't think could successfully be done in most arenas. I was looking at the RTY to see if this was that particular die, but this one is the second best RPM. You can see the doubling on the upper serif right there. It goes almost all the way across the top of the D. So really that goes to Mac. Got another one for that pile. This is like the good old days. I got piles set up now of die varieties. Piles of them. I tell you, piles. This one is not that, so I thought maybe it was going to be another one of the double die lids, but it isn't. And I jumped the gun on that one. Confuse everybody, dizzy everybody, and make everybody seasick, watching a coin move around faster than they can follow. I got nothing on that one, unfortunately. And now the last coin in the roll, number 50, goes to Carl Ignatz. And, oh boy. Wow. Can we see the color on that? No. That's toning, folks. That's pretty. You can see how shiny it was under there. Now look at it. See all that color? It has no RPM. It's not one of the doubled eyelid coins, but man, it's got beautiful color on it. Really nice. Way to go, Carl. You got yourself a pretty one. It does have some spots, but most toned coins do have spots, and they don't really matter all that much because, well, that helps the toning. A deer tried to steal your attention. Well, blasted deer. You're not supposed to be stealing people's attention. Alright, so we've got a stack of normal coins. It's not nearly as large as normal. Normal. But we have these. This is the stack number 1 I was going through. Here we go. This is the stack number 1 of the better RPMs. There's probably going to be at least 2 different RPMs in this. They're numbered 48, 43, 39, 38, 37, 34, and number 1. They belong to Thomas, Coin Hunter, Bill Cresson, Eric, Mac McBride, Mike Birchman, and Mac McBride. Now here we have our possible doubled eyelids, and I may have accidentally left one or two of them in there. They go to coins 42, 35, 32, 28, 27, 24, and 2. They belong to John Brandon Bow, Paul Hampton, Sir Egg, Joe Cathy, Mac McBride, and Malcolm. Geez, Mac, you're a die variety hog. 3 coins and all 3 of them have it. Alright, here's the lesser RPM. The lesser RPM, which I believe I was told is number 28, is coin numbers 31, 18, 13, 11, and B5. Triple Mac. There you go. This one goes to Marshall, then Joe, John Brandon Bow, Lucy, and Marshall. I think Marshall hit a 3 for 3 also. No, he didn't. I know one of his coins is normal. And then this one, which goes to Eric, is completely different from any of the others that I've seen. It's coin number 41. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack all these together in exact reverse order from the way I called them out. So now I've got a stack of varieties right here, and I'm going to count them. There's 20 varieties in this roll. 20, that's 2/5. 2/5 of this roll. That was fast math, wasn't it? I'm so smart. There we go. I'm going to put them together like this right here, so you've got them facing both directions. And I tell you what, that's been a pretty good reveal. I have to go get dinner, eat dinner. I will be back with the proof pull. I'm going to say 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. this evening. Give me time to eat dinner and get my chips ready. I have to get chips ready for people I've not done chips for before, because some people are involved in this pull that have not been in any of my pulls before. So we'll get that done, and I will be back 9 p.m. this evening. I may not get this scheduled right away, but remember that it will be here 9 p.m. this evening, and I will talk to you folks later. Have a great afternoon.